Hey there, strangers. It's time for another 2 p.m. PST Twitch stream. I'm your host, Strange Bro Jim, and today we are getting ourselves back into some coding. Well, maybe not so much coding, but we are going to be continuing our build of the game GGG. So, one second while I prep everything. Make sure everything's kind of in order here, there, folks. So, one second. So, on one hand, I would say that uh, I would be uh, going into Unity to kind of work on uh, some additional um, um, work on the game a little bit more on the coding side of things, but um, we still have quite a few animations to kind of work through, so um, we gotta kind of take care of that first off. So, okay, getting music here so that I can have my headset kind of stay active. And no, folks, I'm sorry, but because of the um, copyright issues and the like, I can't kind of. Well, I mean, there's a way where you can try to isolate it, um, but at the same time, I've heard that Twitch itself is also kind of cracking down on music being played. So, okay. Looks like everything is pretty much ready to go. So let's go ahead and make this live here. We'll go ahead and disable that. Don't need that going. So yeah, okay. So, sorry I messed out on last week. The My sleep schedule has been pretty messed up lately. So I haven't been able to get into a haven't been able to kind of get into a good sleep schedule again. So I'm still kind of working on that. So uh, yeah, we're good on that. Okay. So let's see. So last we left off, we were working on getting all of our human construction workers um, worked out here. Now, now let's see. If I remember correctly, a lot of them were already done, but let me verify that. So we have the walk animation, and from the looks of it, all of them are pretty much done. Yeah, we have 5 of them, so that is correct. Let's see, scared animation 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and all of them are there, so that's that's perfectly fine. That's what I kind of need. Let's see, we have idle. Okay, so I do not have the idle animation completed because I have all the ones kind of facing to the left, but I don't have the ones facing to the right. So we're gonna have to kind of work on that. So Plus, as you can kind of see, um, they don't even have the right tools on them either. So we do have this one all done. So we're good there. But we're going to need to kind of work on the idle, finish that off. And then we need to finish off the harvest. So, you know, swinging the pickaxe and the like, swinging their tool and the like. So, so we got a little bit of work ahead of us. Then we need to finish off all of the animations for the enemies. But once that's all done, then we will be able to handle getting back into the game and setting everything up the way it kind of needs to be right at the moment. So I hate very long commercials. I hate them. You know, you know, when it starts getting into minutes for a commercial, that's a bit much. Okay. Okay. So let's go ahead and get back our into this. So we're going to open up all four of these. Okay. Okay. There we go. Okay, so let's continue with our work on this. Okay, so we're looking at the water bucket here, so we don't need anything else. So we're going to go ahead and delete these. Alright, now let's go ahead and rotate this. See, we're going to go ahead and ungroup. So let's see. Let's go and swap those around. Don't need this anymore. Decrease put it in a different layer here so you can, so it's behind the hand. Now let's see. Okay, now we have it in a good spot right now. So now we want to um, get a good uh, even number here so that we can kind of duplicate it a little bit. So we're gonna do 55 on the X and 81 on the Y. So not that much of a difference. Um, very, very slight change on that, but it allows me to, um, position it correctly on the other images. So Now what I'm going to do now is I'm going to copy this image here because I want to actually replace each one of these pails with the same kind of angle for the pail. So, so I don't have to recreate it each and every single time. I will need to move it based off of the um, what is it, the first and third or the second and fourth? Second and fourth image. Because as the animation goes up and down in its idle, so will its the rest of its body. So you have to kind of, you know, move along with it. If the pail doesn't move along with it, then, you know, like if you're holding a bottle and you're kind of moving the animation, you know, then it looks disjointed and so for those of you that are very beginner animators, hey, I'm no artist either, but I mean, um, it's the you still gotta make sure that you got the basics down. Oh yeah. So now that we have that, now we don't need to move the arm or anything along those lines. So I don't necessarily need to um I don't need to worry about like copying the arm and the bucket. That's going to be later when we're doing the harvesting. So, but we are going to go ahead and regroup this back up again. Gonna go ahead and save it. Then we're going to clean up the document. No problems there. So now that we have this all done, this is complete. We're going to go ahead and flip it to the right. I'm going to save as. Change this to being facing to the right. And now we clean up one last time. For some reason, when you flip it, it I guess, changes the it kind of changes the like the vectors or um the the images around the connectors, whatnot. So it has a slight change. So that's why you want to do that cleanup afterwards. So, all right, so the fourth image is done. So we can close that one down. Don't need that anymore. All right, so we're on our third ungroup. So grab the hammer there. We're going to swap it out with a pail. So don't need that anymore. Change that. Now, the position was once again 55 and 81, but it's slightly different. If you if you kind of if you can kind of see the position of the hand isn't exactly center anymore, and that's because the fourth image was the the image of the person in like a lower position. Um, so now that he's kind of back a little bit further up, we're gonna have to kind of adjust the pail for that. Now, if I remember correctly, I did like a zero point 0.5 difference. So All right, that's 0.5 in the wrong direction, so there we go. So that's looking a little bit better to where it used to be. So so we're good on that. We're gonna go ahead and group that back up again. We're gonna go ahead and save it and clean up document. We're good. Flip that. We're gonna save as to the right, and then we clean up again. All right. So our third image is done. All right. So let's see. Let's go to our first image here because the x and y values are the same in the as the third image. So I know the x and y for position a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead and group that. We're going to go ahead and delete the hammer. Don't need it. Change the you know the position of where the pail is. And we're just going to go ahead and do the, what was it, 55.5. And then we had 80.5. Still didn't reduce down the, there we go. All right, so we are going, that's all good there. So we're going to go ahead and group that back up together again. I'm going to go ahead and save it. No cleanup necessary, so we're going to go ahead and flip it. We're going to save as. Change it to the right. And clean up. Here we go. That's all done. All right, so ungroup. Delete the hammer, don't need that. We're gonna change this into, what was it? We're gonna go for like 56. And then we do 81. Oops. Actually, I don't know if I really need the X position very much. I just need to kind of keep it there for the most part. Because the Y value is the one that's kind of changing with the idle animation. So I just need to kind of make sure that my hand position kind of stays fairly consistent. So okay, that looks good. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and group that back up again. I'm going to save it. No cleanup necessary, that's good. We're going to flip it around, save as, change it to the right, and clean up again. There we go. Okay, so now our idle for water is done. See that this is looking a little problematic here. Hmm. Okay, I'm probably gonna need to kind of fix this a little bit. Okay, let's go ahead and we'll open up all four of these values again. Okay, don't need that anymore. Okay, we messed up here on positioning. Let's see. Is there a way I can just do kind of like a um, online free? Hmm, let's see. I don't. Not the flip book that I was kind of looking for here, guys. Hmm. Kind of looking for something like this here. Interesting that this kind of stayed before. Let's see. Okay, now can I add images into this? Do I do a copy and paste? Doesn't look like it. Hmm. Let's see. Let's do that and see if. Nope, doesn't. This doesn't work with that. Okay. I need something a little bit more. I just want to kind of show, um, I want to show you, you the viewers, um, where I'm seeing the kind of the problem with the animations that I'm currently doing right now. So I'm trying to see if I can find some way of um, putting the images back to back to back so that you can kind of see how the pale is kind of disjointed from the rest of the animation. So give me a second while I try to find something that kind of works with that for the most part. Um, I don't need the PDF because that's not what I'm kind of looking for. Um, mm, I don't know if that's any good right at the moment. Let me see. Okay. This is looking okay, but let's see. Is there any way that I can load images into this? Let's see. Doesn't look like I have any major choices here in terms of loading up images. Alright, not working for me. Hmm. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let's see how this works. It's taking its time on this. No, no, no. Let's see. Um, art assets, human. Alright, here we go. This one, that one, that one, and that one. Go away, add. File not found. What the? Okay. Max file size 5 megabytes each. No, those are fine. Hmm. Maybe it just can't handle the um them being kind of selected multiple files. So, okay, this website just does not work. Okay, we're going to ignore that then. This is the same website. Let's see. I don't need a discussion about what it is. I need an actual program online. Uh, oh, let's see. Um, okay. Let's try this again with something new. Let's see if this is working. Let's see if it works with these 4 files again. Wait, wrong file format? Wait. Oh, this is. Wait, I thought it was. Oh, wait. It says SVG, right. What am I doing? That's what was going on. All right. Um. All right. This is a program that I don't really need right at the moment. Um. All right. Um. Okay. I was messing up on that, but oh, okay. So only taking one image at a time. Okay. Um, okay. I can't select multiple. I can't select multiple images here, so what the hell? Okay. I have no idea what's going on there, so not very intuitive. I don't know if this is what I need. I just need to see it, so let's see. Let me see if Inkscape actually has something that I can use. Um, let's see. Hmm. Um, ah, boy. Okay. Hmm. Doesn't seem like there's any good online free tools that I can kind of use. Um, G. Um, yeah, when I think of flipbook, I think, doing the, um flipping between the images and the like, but apparently there's a different word, and there's a different style of that nowadays, I guess. Uh, I don't know. Let's see. Animation in seconds. Okay, let's try this out. I am using the desktop. There you go. Wrong message to say there, bud. Oh yeah. Let's see. Okay. Okay, don't need those. So let's see, add actor. Hmm. No, I don't want. Okay, that's not. Okay. Is there any way that I can actually add my own images into this? No, it doesn't look like it. I don't see any spot in here where I can actually upload my SVG. Hmm. Okay. Not looking good right at the moment. I don't want to download a new piece of software. No, I don't need a new software. Excuse me. No. No download. I'm just not getting what I'm looking for right at the moment. I don't know. Fuck it. I'm not gonna deal with it anymore. Okay, so um let's see. Okay, we're just gonna go ahead and set these to 100 on all of them. So then we're just gonna kind of have these over each other here. And I'm gonna make my own little flipbook here. It's gonna be janky as all hell, but I mean, I don't really have any other choices in this matter because I can't really find anything that's decent for that. So, um, no, that's not gonna work either. Okay, I'll create an account. It didn't even. I created an account to try to take care of this, and it didn't even finish it. Thanks, I appreciate that. Thanks for wasting my time. Let's try this again, shall we? Alright, let's make this a little bit faster here, so. Let's kind of speed it up a little bit faster here. Okay, so notice how the pail is kind of um notice how the pail kind of stays in the same kind of spot in the third and fourth image there. So this is a problem. That's not it's not working out the way I need it to kind of work out. So that's the problem. That's where the failure is on this. So all right. Um, okay, we don't need that anymore. So okay, so we're gonna need to kind of fix this a little bit. Um, okay, so let's go ahead and break this apart here. Um, let's go ahead and okay, let's see. It's not looking. There we go. That's a little bit better. So we're gonna go ahead and save this as the main image overall. So I'm gonna go and group that back together again. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. I'm gonna flip it around. I'm gonna save as. And I'm gonna face it to the right. Replace. Clean up document. There we go. Alright. Now we're gonna go switch over to the third image. And we're going to go ahead and break that back down again. We're going to look at this and we're going to go ahead and fix this. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I kind of messed up here. Let me reopen the first image here again. Don't need it facing to the right anymore. So we're going to break that back down again. We're going to look at the pail, and we're going to make sure that the values are the same, and they are. So that's good. Or the image for 1 and 3 are going to be the same. So we're going to go ahead and group that back all together again. We're going to go and save it. Clean up the document. And then we are going to be let's see. Yeah, clean up document. No errors there. So we're going to flip it to the right. We're going to save as. To the right. Yep, replace. Clean up. Save. Alright. So first and third are done. Alright. Because the pail is not changing for the first and third. So we're going to look at the second image now. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and break the group, ungroup. Okay, so we want to try to keep the pail pretty much, around the same location. As it's kind of being moved up a little bit. Now, it doesn't look like it's that correct right at the moment. So hmm. Okay, we're looking at a like a 1.5 difference. So this one needs to be more along the lines of 8.5. There we go. That's a little bit better. When eyeballing both of these. So um, that's looking good. So let's go ahead and group that back all together again. I'm going to save that. Cleanup. No cleanup necessary. So we're going to flip it around. We're going to save as. Change it to the right. Replace. And cleanup document. There we go. Alright, so with that out of the way, we're going to switch over to the fourth image here. Now, the position for the pail there, let's go ahead and ungroup it. Once again, we're going to go ahead and keep with the X being the same, but we're going to be changing this to that. Position still looks a little off. The reason why I'm kind of saying that a little bit is the fact that look at the pail here in this particular position and look at it here. So now it's a small difference, but there we go. That's looking a little bit better. There we go. That'll do it for now. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and group this back all together again. We're going to go ahead and save it there. Cleanup. No cleanup necessary. We're going to flip it around. We're going to save as. Change it to the right. Replace. And clean up. There we go. Let's see. And this one we just need to undo the change. So seeing that all I did was do the ungroup. So alright. So I closed down the full on file. Oops. Alright. Let's reopen Inkscape back up again. Alright, so now we should have the water done and it should be working the way I need it to work. So let's verify that real quick. Let's go ahead and you know, make another temporary git in this. See, the pail now isn't moving as much, so now it's not kind of like moving all over the place on the hand. It looks like it's fairly stable overall. So, and if you're like looking at it from a large screen or from a phone, you're not going to be able to see that amount of difference. Like there is a slight change in here. I can kind of see it, but again, I'm not going to worry about it too much because it's just kind of it's a slight shift. I'm not going to worry about it too much. So when the player is going to be looking at multiple things on the screen, we're not going to need to kind of worry about you know, slight differences when it comes to that. So we're good. All right. Let's move on to the next set of images here. All right. So we got the idle water done. So now we'll go ahead and move on to the pickaxe. All right. Now, um, it's it's been 2 weeks since I did this, so just a reminder to everybody here that I'm talking about this particular pickaxe here because if you look under my um, if you look at my other file names, you have pickaxe, for example. You also have golden, which is this one in particular. So we're going to go ahead and get rid of all these other tools. Don't need them. There we go. Okay. Once again, we're going to be dealing with the idle. So, but we're going to go ahead and change the angle. And we're going to try to, again, match it up with the hammer a little bit. See, as you can kind of see here, the angle isn't completely correct on this. So I'm going to change it a little bit. Not quite. Close. Okay, and there we go. That's a good similar angle to it, so we're good on that. So we're gonna go ahead and bring it back down here real quick because I want to just go ahead and copy it to the other images here. There we go. Keeping the angle the same, so the idle animation doesn't have like movement of the pickaxe too much. All right, so what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and ungroup. We can go ahead and we have a position here, 50 and 76, so we can try to copy that, 50 and 76. Not quite, but um, we can kind of adjust this a little bit. So let's see, we'll do 52 there. Oh, okay. 52 and 76. There we go. All right. So now that is looking pretty good here. We have the facing to the left, which is good. So now we're just going to go ahead and group this all back up again. I'm going to go ahead and save it. We'll do cleanup. No cleanup necessary. So that's good. I'm going to hold off on making the right facing one right at the moment. So we're going to go ahead and ungroup here so that I can kind of focus on the pickaxe here. So I can kind of look at the values. I'll fix this all up again for the right facing afterwards. But okay, ungroup, delete that. we change the values here to 52 and 76. There we go. And there's that. So now we can go ahead and group this all together again. I'm going to save it. No cleanup necessary, so we're going to go and flip it around. Save as to the right. And then we clean up. There we go. We're done with the third image. Alright, so now we are going to go ahead and look at our fourth image here. Ungroup. Delete that. Now we're going to do 52. Oh, come on. 52. And instead of 76, we went down. So that should be, what, 78? Let me make sure that everything's kind of lining up properly here. Okay, that's looking pretty good. So, um, we'll go ahead and group this back up again. We're gonna go ahead and save it. Let's see, cleanup. No cleanup necessary. Good. So we're gonna flip it. We're gonna save as. Face it to the right. And then we clean it up once more. Rinse and repeat over and over and over again. Alright, so that's done. So we're gonna ungroup that, delete that. I'm gonna change this to 52, and then instead of 76, we need 74. There we go. And once again, it's looking fairly similar to what we got there. So we're good. So we're going to go ahead and group this back all together again. I'm going to save it. Cleanup, no cleanup necessary. I'm going to flip it around, save as. Change it to right facing. And clean up once more. So we're good with that. Close that one down. Alright, so now for this one, we're going to go ahead and undo because we want it to be all grouped together. It's already kind of saved in this particular position already, and there's nothing to worry about with cleanup. So now we're going to go ahead and make it face to the right. I'm going to save as to the right, and then clean up. There we go. Okay, so now we have the pickaxe done. So if I go here, for example, we can do we can kind of see our animation for the pickaxe. And there we go. So, all right. Okay, we got the hammer all done. Same with facing to the right. All right. So now we're gonna go ahead and open up the golden tool. or golden pickaxe, I should say. Open up all these guys. Let's see, we're going to go ahead and close that down. Don't need that anymore. Let's see, and there we go. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and delete everything except for the golden pickaxe. There we go. Alright, now we're going to go ahead and change the angle on this. Try to eyeball it for the most part. Okay. How's that looking? It's actually looking pretty good. So let's go ahead and reposition that. Copy that so that I can place it on the other images here. There we go. And then we're going to go ahead and ungroup that again. We're going to go ahead and look at the values there, the 50 and the 76. We're going to change this. There we go. Now, I'm looking at this a little bit, and the pickaxe is a little further down on the palm than what I kind of want. So I'm thinking I should probably see. Let's see if I can. Hmm, I pretty much put it right back where it used to be. Um, there we go. That's a little bit better in my eyes. Let's see, maybe. No. Position 77 looked fine. Alright. So we're gonna kind of leave it broken apart for now so that I can kind of keep an eye on the position values like before. We're gonna go ahead and select this one so that we can ungroup it, delete that, and then we're going to go ahead and change this to 49, 77, change the focus, or change the layer value. So there's that. Go ahead and group it back all together again. I'm gonna go ahead and save it. Cleanup is not necessary. Flip it around, save as, change to right, and clean up once more. There we go. Do the exact same thing for all the others. So 49. Let's see, what is that? 79. Yeah, That looks good. So we're going to go group that all back together again. We're going to go ahead and save it. Clean up. No worries there. Flip it around. Save as. Face it to the right. And then clean up. There we go. All right. Okay, we're looking pretty good on this. Let's go ahead and move on to our second image here so we can fix that. Okay, and group. Delete that. Position is 49, and then it's at a higher value, so it would be at 75. There we go. In a higher position because the idle, of course, I position the body a little bit higher in value, so it's the reason why. So, okay. So that's going to be good there. So we'll go ahead and group that back up again. We're going to go ahead and save that. We're going to make sure that there's no cleanup necessary, which there isn't. We're going to flip that around so we can save it for the right facing. And now we clean up once more and save that. Okay. So we're good there. Now that we're done with this particular image, we can go ahead and group this back together. We'll go ahead and save it. Make sure that there's no cleanup, which is there isn't. That's good. So we're facing to the right. Save as, facing to the right. And now we clean it up once more. There we go. All right. So our construction worker with the golden pickaxe is done. So now we just have the idle for the regular axe. So let's go ahead and take care of that. Bring up the rest of these images here. Let's see. Hopefully Inkscape doesn't crash on me, but it has in the past when I do too many, so just bear that in mind. Hopefully it doesn't, but I've already had some issues in past couple streams with it, so okay, let's remove all the additional tools that we don't need. There we go. All right, now we're going to once again get the X to be in a good angle. So eyeballing it here. Okay, the angle's slightly off there, so let's go ahead and adjust the angle a little bit more. There we go. Angle's still looking a little off there. There we go. That should work. So now we're going to go ahead and copy that image to the rest. I don't really need these anymore. Okay, there we go. So now we're gonna go ahead and ungroup this again and get rid of that hammer, which is at 50 and 76. So we're gonna change that to 50, 76. Yeah. Doesn't always work out, but I mean, it's gives me a rough idea as to kind of what to try to look for. So Let's go ahead and try to lower this a little bit more. So let's say 78. Now, how about 80? And that's looking a little bit better. Let's go ahead and change the layer. Let's see. Maybe 81 will do. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. Alright. That is looking good so far. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and use this positioning, 50 and 81 for the third image, seeing that the first and third is the same kind of height per se. So let's go ahead and take care of that. So we're going to ungroup that one to get rid of the hammer. Change the position to 50 and 81. Change the layer. So that's looking good. So we're going to go ahead and group that right back up again. Let's save it. Let's check cleanup. Nope. Okay. So now we're going to flip it around so we can save it for facing to the right. There we go. And cleanup. There we go. So our third image is done. We don't need to worry about it anymore. So we're going to go ahead and close that down. Alright, so let's go ahead and move on to the fourth image here. We're going to ungroup the image. We're going to go ahead and get rid of that axe. Don't need it. So 50 again. Oop. And this is going to be at a lower value, so we want it to be, say, like at 83, and that should work. Let's verify it on here. Is it looking about in the same position as this one? Slightly. Not quite though. Maybe let's go a little bit more. Let's do 84. And no, that's a little too much. It's a little too much there. Maybe 83.5. Yeah, that's looking a little bit better. Alright, so now that we have that all taken care of, let's go ahead and group that ball back up again. Save it. Clean up. No cleanup necessary. That's good. So now we're going to flip it around. We're going to save as. So it's facing to the right. And now we clean up once more. So there's no additional artifacts or anything like that. And everything's looking good for the fourth image. So we're good with that. That portion of the animation is done. So on to our second image. Write that down. Delete that. 50, and it's at a higher value, so we're looking at, say, at 79. Change the layer. How are we looking here? Is it looking good? I don't know. Doesn't look quite right. That's looking a little bit better. Yeah, that'll work. Okay, so go ahead and group with that all back up again. So we're good there. Save it. Clean up document. No cleanup necessary. Flip it around. Change it to facing the right. And clean up once more. There we go. So now our second image is done. Close that one out too, don't really need it. So now we can... Oh no! Ah! Okay, I gotta remember 50 and 81 here. We had a crash. So... Um, okay. Can you close it down? Hold on a second here, folks. It isn't responding right at the moment. Bring out the task manager so I can close it down. Go. Okay. Here we go. Okay. No. Okay. Interesting. Okay. Looks like everything's pretty much in order here. So we'll go ahead and group that back up. We're going to save as, because I don't want to save it to this huge ass long number. I'm going to save it to that. Yep, we're going to replace it. Gonna go ahead and clean up document, and there was some artifacts in there. So we're gonna go ahead and save it. So now we're going to go ahead and flip it around. Save as, face it to the right, and clean up document. Save. There we go. Okay, let me go to the folder in question and remove that one file with a large S number because we don't really need that anymore. Alright. So now all of our axes are done. So now what I can do, if you guys want, we can kind of show a brief little animation for it. Oh, what the? Damn it. Okay, it was doing the wrong one there. There we go. Okay. And so that's our animation for the axe. Yeah. So we're good with that. Let's see. Music, continue. Yeah. Uh, 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 mm. Okay. we have our idle animations done for the construction tools that we have. So we're good with that. Now we're going to be moving on um, to the harvest for all these tools. Now I've already done the harvesting for the hammer and the pickaxe. So what I need to do is set one for the water bucket, the golden pickaxe, and the regular axe. So, um, so let's see. How am I going to be going about doing this again? Um, Now the position stays fairly the same for these guys. You know, they're not moving around. The eyes change obviously, um, and the position of their arm changes based off of the frame. Um, so let's go ahead and we're gonna open up these four images. Don't need that one anymore. Okay. So we're gonna have them all kind of facing, open up the ones that are facing to the left so that we can fix the tools. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and open up my prototype file so we can pull the our tools that we need out of there. Okay. Now let's see. So I need to change this to save as, and we are going to be doing, see, I said I needed the water. Let's see, actually, let me go and grab this. Actually, hold on. I needed the water, the axe, and the golden pickaxe, if I'm not mistaken, right? So we're just gonna go and save that for now. So now we're gonna do the save as. Gonna do golden. Save as. And then the axe. There we go. So we're gonna go ahead and save that for now. Let's see. Let's grab those. Hold on to that one for now. We're gonna put this down there. We're gonna save as. Let's do axe. Save as. Golden. Save as. Water. I'm just doing some initial prep work here so that I know, you know, which ones I need to kind of work on a little bit here. So let's see. Let's see. Put that there. Put that there. Okay. So we're going to save as. go. X. Golden. And water. Okay, and now we do this exact same thing here. Save as. So we can get the individual frames for each of the tools created. So there we go. Alright, so now we have our 4 frames here. Don't really need the prototype anymore, so we'll go ahead and close that down. Okay, so let's see. Now I have the 3 images for water, but I don't have it here. So let's go ahead and just open up the water, seeing that that's the common one that we're kind of working on right at the moment. So we'll go ahead and close this one down for now. Okay, so now we're going to be doing the exact same thing that we were doing prior, but this time we're actually dealing with the harvesting animation. You know, the you know, as these human characters are, you know, wondering about, the player says, hey, you know, you need to go and gather up this resource. You know, once it gets to that particular spot in the map, you know, the characters are going to be doing their animations to kind of show that, hey, they're trying to collect items. So that's what this is kind of all about. For those of you that haven't been kind of following my streams, but that's perfectly fine. I mean, I do these coding streams every Sunday, so um, but obviously, me being a programmer trying to do this art is like kind of painful a little bit. I apologize for any artists that are out there that are looking at this and going, "What the hell are you doing there, Jim?" But I mean, let's face it. When you're making your own game, you're having to put on multiple hats, and this is just one of the hats that you have to kind of put on there, folks. So. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch on over to getting our water done here. So we don't need the rest of these tools here, so we can get rid of them. We just need the water bucket for them. So, matter of fact, I probably could get rid of all of them here, seeing that I'm going to be basically be copying this, seeing that I need to change the angle and kind of put it at a decent angle for where I want it to be at, and then copy it to the others so that I don't necessarily, well, actually, the the second and the fourth image, seeing that the animation is going to be doing like an upswing, um, the angle of the bucket isn't going to be the same, you know, but I can at least use the same angle for this one for the first for the first and third image, seeing that they're in the same spot. So okay, um, okay, let's go ahead and ungroup this so we can get rid of this image. Now the X and Y isn't uniform here, so whatever. What can I do on that? So let's go ahead and bring this here. Change the layer down. Okay. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I had like a position for them before. Let's see. If I do 55 and say 80, yeah, 80 works. And then the hand looks about middle-ish of the bucket, so that is looking pretty decent right at this point. So um, I would like to kind of group this all back up together, but we're going to kind of save it for now to try to save the um, numerical values here. So we're going to move over to our third image. The position is the same. So we're going to go ahead and, oops, I almost forgot. We're going to go ahead and copy the pail, paste it over there so we can just go ahead and get rid of that. We're going to go ahead and ungroup that, delete this, and now we're going to go ahead and reposition. Go, change the layer value, and there we go. Same position overall. So that's good. So now we're going to go ahead and group this all back together. There we go. We're going to go ahead and save it because our file name is fine. So save as. Cleanup. No cleanup necessary. We're going to flip it around. We're going to save as, facing to the right. And now we're going to go ahead and clean up and save once more. And now we're done with our third image. So we can go ahead and close that down. Don't need it anymore. Okay, so now let's go ahead and switch over to the fourth image here. Now, I'm not going to take the angle of the water pail here and distribute it over there because the hand, if I, well, yeah, let me show it to you. So, I come over here, I copy that, let's say I post it here, and now I put it like right there. Not exactly an ideal position. Oops. Um, yeah, let me move it. Let me break this image, ungroup the image again. So if we move it there, change the layer down. See, that's not ideal. Now, don't get me wrong. Okay. Um, the person this particular character themselves is supposed to be like, you know, paling up water. Okay, so I already know that the image is not gonna be that great. It's gonna be looking a little odd seeing someone kind of smashing a pail up against a water well. I get that. I get that. But um, at the end of the day, um, you know, I don't want to be doing like a painstaking, um, I don't want to be spending too much time on to the animation because um, it's basically the very first game that I'm building on Unity and all that. I don't want to be spending all this time trying to be painstaking look at every single last detail of the art to try to make sure that it's looking how I would normally see someone paling up water from a water well. Okay. Um, if I did have a full-time artist working with me on this, then I would like to see that. But I don't have a team with me on this project. Um, so I'm using what I can to try to get this done quickly and still show some amount of, well, um, I don't want to spend weeks on a single animation where you're actually seeing it, seeing the pail kind of going through the water, dragging right back out and seeing the water kind of full. Okay. I don't want to deal with that because then I'd have to, you know, try to compare the animation for the the human character with in terms of the water well as well. So I would need to put a lot more frames into it to try to get more of a fluid movement of them kind of dipping the water into the water well and bringing it right back out again. Okay. Um, I just don't have the time for that. Well, I mean, um, I can put the time, but at the same point, I want to get to the programming side of the game again. Okay, I don't want to put all this time into animation. I'm sorry. I you know as much as um I want to see the game show these kind of animations for those of you that will eventually like purchase the game or whatnot in the future. I gotta keep it. I gotta keep it simple. you know, um, I gotta keep it simple for now. I mean, uh, when I can get when um, for this very first game, we're gonna keep it simple, keep it basic. Maybe if things go well, then I'll be able to like actually hire an actual artist animator. So for the second, like if I do create a um second game out of this, then I can hire a full-time artist to actually do these kind of animations, improve on the art, um, you know, make you know, try to change this into something that looks a little bit better, looks a little more animated, looks a little more fluid. But for now, I gotta deal with what I gotta deal with. So, and right now, this doesn't look that correct. So, um, we're gonna go ahead and just kind of delete it for now because the pail right here is more in the position that I kind of want for the most part. Um, so hand position is looking about right on that. So let's go ahead. Oh, nope. Get that arm back there. Let's not move the arm right at the moment. So let's see. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of the pickaxe. Don't really need that. And it was like what, 47 and 50? And no, not quite. Okay. So let's go ahead and readjust it again. Okay. That's looking about right. So let's go ahead and readjust this to some values here. Hmm. Actually, let's do 48 on that one. There we go. And then let's do 55. Maybe 54. Yeah, there we go. All right, so now we take that. Our save file is correct, so we're going to go ahead and group that back up again. We're going to go ahead and save it. Cleanup. No cleanup necessary, so that's good. So now we need to flip it around there. I'm going to save as, facing to the right. And now we clean up once more and save it again. There we go. So now our fourth image is done. I almost messed up here a little bit. So I'm going to reopen up the fourth image facing to the left real quick. Okay. Let me tell you why I'm doing this. Don't need that facing to the right because the fourth image and the second image is the same. So what I want to do is we're going to unbreak this again. We're going to take the pail. We're going to go ahead and copy it. We're going to paste it there because the angle's the way I want it to be. Get rid of that pail. Don't need it. And we also have the position of 48 and 54. So we're going to come over here. We're going to unbreak that. Or ungroup it, I should say. Delete the pickaxe. We're going to reposition the pail here to 48 and 54. And change the layer. So now we got that. Group that back up again. Gonna go ahead and save it. Let's see, make sure we clean up the document. Nothing to clean up, so that's good. Face to the right. We're gonna save as. Facing to the right. And then we clean up once more. There we go. Alright. And we don't need to, we already saved this file, so we don't need to resave it again. So we're just gonna undo the change there, which nothing, no problems there. So we're just gonna go and close that down. Alright, now we just need to finish off our first image here. So everything is looking good there, so we're just gonna go and group that back up again. We're gonna go ahead and save it. Let's see, we're going to, uh-oh. Okay, that almost crashed on me again. Okay, no cleanup necessary, so we're good. So we're gonna face it to the right. We're gonna save as. And then we're cleaning it up once more. There we go. Okay, so now we can kind of go here to kind of see the animation in action. So, so we can grab these. And there we go. So there's our harvesting animation. I know, it's basic, but I mean it gets the job done. So it just kind of I mean the reason for this is to make sure that it's silly enough that people can maybe get a chuckle out of it. Okay. I mean, let's face it. I would get a chuckle at someone taking a pail and going clank, clank, clank up against the moonwell, okay? Um, so, um, the whole purpose of the game is for the player to kind of manage the these human avatar AIs going around the map. Um, so yeah. Um, all So we are done with the water harvest. So now we're going to go ahead and open up the other images here. We're going to go ahead with the golden axe here. We're going to open up all four of them, and we're going to basically do the exact same thing that we did with the water bucket. So lots of rinse and repeat with the animation. So if anyone is thinking, "Oh yeah, animation is easy," no, don't think like that. Um, it's a lot of, I mean, um, if anyone is ever kind of curious about what goes into an animation or whatnot, like um, what goes into, how much work some artists do to try to get the the image to kind of line up the way they want it to line up. Check out um, some videos about um, you know, how they made um, like certain um, animated cartoons or movies, or check out the animation for like um, for some of the computer animation for like say Pixar or something like that. You can probably find a lot of examples out there for those um, for what kind of goes into it. And you can see them kind of, like the old, hand drawn on paper kind of animations. You can see them, kind of flipping back and forth, and they're eyeballing it, you know, penciling it in some fashion. So, um, so that's a lot more complex than what I'm doing here, there, folks. So I'm trying to keep it as simple as I possibly can. Um, so yeah, there's if you look at those examples, you can see how much kind of work goes into it, and you're talking frame by frame by frame by frame. So um, I'm doing it very basic with just the four animations. Um, now one could kind of um, take what I'm doing here, like let's say I'm doing the hammers here. Okay, an animator would take something like this and use an actual honest to gosh you know artist animator would kind of take this and use it as keyframes. Now, if you're not familiar with keyframes, um, then I'll try to explain it. But um, again, I'm a programmer first, not an artist. Okay, so take it with a grain of salt. Okay, look up these details online if you absolutely need to. Um, but let me try to convey it to you if you're not quite familiar. Um, so um, when you're trying to do um, a story, a storyboard, okay, where you're having, one, multiple different pictures kind of showing as the story kind of progresses through. Okay, what you want to do is, um, you're trying to show, here's the first frame of the story. Here's the second frame of the story. Here's the third frame of the story. Here's the fourth frame of the story. Okay. And you want to have transitions from the first to the second to the third to the fourth. Okay. And then you kind of separate them out and you create like additional frame, and you create something like in the middle of it. So like say like for example you have the first and second, for example, right? And you're like, okay, well what's in between both of these? Okay, so you create something in the middle, okay, that's in between those two frames. Okay, so say you have this image here and that image there. Now you want something that's kind of in the center of it, so you make this image, you know, and you keep on doing that. That's you have those are what's kind of um, I, if I'm not mistaken, okay, and I could be, I'm not an animator. Um, those are what's called the keyframes. These large stops of where the animation is, kind of thing. Where you want to show a piece of like the action or what's kind of happening. Okay, you have these like pivotal points in the story. Okay, and the animator can take these two images. Okay, you know, like the first image here and the second image there, and they will start making like additional positions along the way. Um, so for example, okay, um, I'm gonna I'm gonna save this as another file here. I'm just gonna say, um, I'm just gonna say human animation, just to not to ruin what I have. Okay, um, so we have this image there, and we have the finished image there, right? So the animator would kind of take this, and we want to move the arm and the pickaxe, right? So we're going to go ahead and select both of those. We're going to group them together. So we want something that's kind of in between both of these images here, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to, change the angle again. Oh, actually here, I'm going to copy it. Okay, I'm going to paste it so we can kind of see where it was and where the, you know, um, we're going to kind of see the change over time. So here, let me grab this one over here as well. So group that one together, copy that, and group those again. But so like so we have this kind of look and feel to it, right? So we're gonna kind of change it. So now we have something that's kind of like in the center of it all. Okay. And they'll save this extra image in there. Okay. So now you have something in between them. And they'll just keep on doing this to kind of create the flow um, of what they're kind of wanting to kind of do. Okay. And they'll just keep on redoing this over and over and over again. Okay. To kind of show, the movement of the animation, Now, um, now it might it can be a little bit easier depending on what tools you have. Um, if you have the correct amount of tools, then sometimes the program itself can kind of do the animation for you. Like, hey, I need this arm to move to this point. Okay, so if the program is good, it can kind of do that kind of change in movement for you. Okay, you don't have to put in the work yourself, depending on what program you're using. Okay, um, the whole Pixar 3D animation, computer animated. You know, it some of the best software might be able to kind of do that for you. I don't really know. Like I said, you know, but I believe that's the case. Okay, I don't personally know, but I believe that's the case. Okay. Um, Otherwise, you know, um, they would have to be doing the exact same kind of art, changing every single time, every single frame themselves, and um, that takes a little bit of time, obviously. So, um, you know, it all depends on how many frames you're wanting to kind of show in an animation. Okay. Um, if you want to make it really smooth, then you want to try to do a lot of frames. Okay, you want to have instead of the 4 frames that I have, you want to do something like 16, 32, 64, something like that. Okay, so that you have a lot, you can kind of do the slow movement, or you can draw each position of the movement. So when you're looking at from, with your perspective, it, looks as though, like it's a video. So, and that's great. Now, um, you can cut out some frames depending on how quick you want to kind of show the movement kind of thing. Like, um, if you're trying to show that this guy's moving super fast, and obviously you don't need to do, you know, uh, one image to the other. You can just kind of do, he's super fast, so bam, that kind of thing. So, um, you can kind of skip frames that way, but obviously you want to have some other kind of um, something else to kind of show like the speed or the slowdown or whatever, what have you. So, but um, yeah, that's. Hope you guys appreciated this small, basic introduction to what I know of keyframes. So, we're gonna go ahead and close this down. Don't need it. Close without saving. Don't need it. Matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and delete that file. Don't need it anymore. Goodbye. All right. Um, so we want to go back to human harvest construction golden 2 because we have 1, 3, and 4. So All right. My music stopped. There we go. Back up and run again. All right. So let's go ahead and get into this here. Um, we're going to go ahead and get rid of these. I'm using the same pickaxe in the first image as same as the third image. So we technically don't need the anything from the fourth image. So just want to use those. Okay. So now we're going to go ahead and take this. We're going to go ahead and change the angle. Try to eyeball it and see if I can kind of match the angle to this. Not quite. There we go. That works. So we're going to go ahead and move that back down. We can get rid of that. And it's at 51 and 76. So 51, 76. Not quite what I want there. Let's see. Let's try 50. Not quite. Let's try 49. There we go. Now that'll work. 49 and 76. Alright. So now we're going to go ahead and... Oop, actually, hold off. We're going to wait on that for now. We're going to move on over here. Grab the pickaxe. Paste it over there. Let's zoom in a little bit. Okay, ungroup that. Oh, take the pickaxe, don't need it. Change this to 49 and 76. Change the layer. It's good. Gonna go ahead and group that all back together again. Save it. Clean up. No cleanup necessary. Okay. So we're flipping the image around, saving as. Change it to the right. And clean up once more. There we go. So third image is done. And technically, we can finish off the first image. We don't really need it anymore, so we're going to go and group that all back together. Save it. Clean up. No cleanup necessary. Flip it around. Save as. Face it to the right. Clean up. Save. So there we go. Done with that. All right. Don't need that image anymore. Okay, so let's go ahead and get the angle on this correct. Don't need much. Just enough to kind of match with what we got there. Let's see. Okay, that works. So we're going to go and copy that. We're going to move it on over here. So we're going to take this. We're going to ungroup it. We're going to delete this, which is at, let's see, looks like 50 and 47. So 50 and 47. Okay. We're looking at this a little bit and the position is slightly off. So we're going to do, say, 49. No, we need a little bit more. Let's see, 48. The angle on the axe looks a little off. Hmm. Okay. That is looking a little bit better. Now I need to kind of move it back the way where it was. So 50. Yeah, that'll work. 50 works. Okay, and let's see. Nope. I don't want it too much into the eye here. Yeah, that'll work. That'll work. Okay, so we have 50 and 45 on that one. So we're going to go ahead and copy the pickaxe again. Get rid of that. Put that back because it's slightly different angle. Um, we're going to take this. We're going to break this apart. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. Reposition this to 50 and 45. There we go. Take that. We're going to group it back all together again. We're going to go ahead and save it. Clean up. No cleanup necessary. So we're going to flip it around. We're going to save as. Change it to the right. And clean it once more. There we go. So that's done. So we come back over here. Going to go ahead and group this back up together again. We're going to go ahead and save it. Clean up. No cleanup necessary. Flip it around. Save as. Face it to the right. And then clean up once more. There we go. Okay, I think we just have one more set to go. And then we're done with the humans. Yeah, we just have the harvest with the construction on the axe. And we are going to be done because or at least with the humans, because we have the idle all done. We have their scared animation done. And we have their walk animation done. So now we just need to do we just need to focus on their construction on the axe. So let's pull up the 4 files here. Hopefully it doesn't crash on me. Oh, and for those that are kind of curious as to what it kind of looks like, we can kind of do this here for you. So there we go. So there we go. Basic animation, but in the end, you know, it's, you know, it depending on what you want to do, you know, for, you can kind of get away with it just with the 2 images. Okay. Um, you can, so what I could do, I can, let me show you what I mean by it. You can kind of get away with it with 2 images. You can literally do um, the first and the second. Now it's gonna look a little different, especially with the eyes. in particular because I kind of have the eyes moving along with, but you can just do the two images and you're going to be good. Okay. Um, you know, I wanted to show a little bit more on that, so that's why I'm doing the four images. Okay. But you can just do two images and you can get away with a basic animation. Okay. Um, you have that for, you know, the very first games that are out there. Okay. Um, you look at Pac-Man, you look at um, Legend of Zelda, you know, the very first one. I mean, if you look at the sprites that were used back then, okay, and you look at their animation sets, you know, Pac-Man is just rah, wah, 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 you know, kind of thing. So it's like, um, it only has like two images for the most part. Okay, that's it. Okay, it it didn't need any more than that. So if you if you're similar to me in the sense that you're you're a programmer and you have no idea as to how much you want to do when it comes to animation, you could just do two images and you're good. Okay, you know, to kind of get through what you want to uh, portray. So it also kind of depends on what kind of game you're making as well. Um, but um, like for example, like the first Mega Man, for example, um, it had the running animation, which was again, um, I think it had like maybe about um, four images there because they actually wanted to have the legs. Um, I don't remember if they had the legs kind of at a viewpoint where you can kind of see, the one closest to you and the one in behind. Um, if they did do that, then obviously they want to have, like a locomotion kind of, you know, animation as the person's walking. Okay. Um, but when it came to like the jump, it's just, one single frame that they just kind of moved around depending on um, where the controls were intending for that particular sprite to go. So um, it was basically taking the user input and saying, okay, this person just pushed the jump and he's moving it to the right, so that's the sprite will you know start at one spot and um, well, for you guys, it's I'm moving it to the left, so I guess you know take it take the you have the image, you hit the jump button, and you're moving to the right, so it's moving like this. Okay, stage right. But all right, so let's go ahead and finish off the last sets of animations, and then we're going to be going back to our monsters so we can do animations for them. I don't know how many images I'm probably going to be wanting for that because, um, so like for example, the ghost, it has no legs or arms, so it's not going to be doing any kind of like fancy animation like what I'm doing with the axe and the harvesting or whatnot. Um, so I may need to be a little creative when it comes to the ghost. Um, and same with the goblin um, and the ghoul. Um, it's not going to be doing any kind of like harvesting animation or anything along those lines. So it's not going to be needing to do too much when it comes to that. Um, but I still need to do some amount of animation, to show that the player themselves can kind of see them moving, you know, doing the animation move so that they know, hey, the enemy is coming closer to you. You got to do something about it. So, all right, we're gonna go ahead and delete the three there. Don't need them because we're gonna be using what I do with the first and second. So, okay, let's eyeball it a little bit. Close. Slightly off in its angle. Hmm. Try and find the right angle again. Okay, I think that works. So we're gonna go ahead and take that, move it over to the third. Okay, now we're gonna go ahead and break this image down, or ungroup it, I should say. Oops, I actually deleted that a little too quickly, but that's fine. We're gonna kind of move it up there. Now let's see, we'll do 50, and then we'll do 81. And that looks okay. So now we're going to come over here before we, do any kind of major work and savage on that. So we're going to ungroup that, delete the pickaxe, take this, and we'll change the values to what we need. Change the layer. Now we go ahead and group it right back together again. Gonna go ahead and save it. Let's see, cleanup. No cleanup necessary. So we flip it around, we save as. It is facing to the right. And now we save it. We clean up once more. Okay, we're done with the first, well, we're done with third. Now let's finish off the first. So we'll go and group that back up. Um, we are going to go ahead and uh, save it. We're going to make sure that we clean up. No problems there. So now we flip it around. Change the file, save as. And now we clean up once more, save it, and we're good with the first image. Alright, So now we just have the second and fourth. So now let's go ahead and go to our second here. We change the angle on this to an eyeball. Not quite. Let's see. Yeah, that looks good. So let's go and move that down. Yes, we want to ungroup that. We're going to take that pickaxe. We're going to go and delete it. Don't need it. Now we're going to go and move this up here. Now we're going to go and change our values here to, say, 49. No, I think 50 probably best. And then we have 44. Let's do 45. There we go. So now we take the axe here, copy, paste, take that, we're going to ungroup it, delete that, and we're going to change our values here to what we need, which is 50 and 45. Okay. Now we're looking pretty good there, so let's go ahead and group that back up. So now we're going to go ahead and save it. Let's see, let's do our cleanup. No cleanup necessary, that's good. So flip it, save as to the right. And now we clean up once more. There we go. So now our fourth image is done. And let's finish off our second image. So now we're going to go ahead and group this all back up together again. I'm going to save it, do a cleanup, no cleanup necessary, flip it around, save as, face it to the right, and clean up once more, and save. Okay, so we are done with our images right at the moment. All right. Interesting. I just got a message from one of my viewers. Dakun, are you watching right now or maybe not. We'll see. Um, okay, so now that we have all of this all done, we're going to be moving on to our monsters. But just to kind of show you guys what the last bit of animation that we have here, show our animation for this. There we go. Awesome. Okay. So now, based off of everything that we have done here, we are done with all of our human animations. So we're done for the most part on this. Although, if I'm not mistaken, there were some portions of the human animation that was a little off. Hmm. You know what? Let's go ahead and use our little GIF maker here to kind of use it as a flipbook here to kind of see if we're kind of screwing up on our other images as well. So we're going to kind of go one by one here and see if we're having any other additional issues. No problems there. Now I've already done, let's do this again. So I wanna make sure that everything is looking perfectly fine here. So okay, no problems there. Now let's use the one facing to the right. Okay, look, that's looking good. Okay, so grab the hammer to the left. Okay, I'm not seeing any major issues on this. Let's go ahead and to the right. No problems there that I can see. Okay. Let's grab the pickaxe to the left. Okay, I'm not seeing any major issues on that either. At least nothing that really absolutely stands out to me. I mean, if if you're seeing this and and thinking, wait, Jim, there's a slight problem here, let me know. Let me know. If you see something, you know, let me know which files I might be kind of screwing up on. And, you know, is it facing to the right or is it facing to the left? Let me know. Because um, I might, I might not be seeing everything, so um, I don't really see any issues with that one either. Or at least nothing that's like blatantly obvious. So, okay, so the pickaxes are done. So now we're doing the water. Almost looks like he's drinking, doesn't it? Yeah, okay. So now we do to the right. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, so let's go from the bottom to top here. We're doing the walk animation. Okay, so just in case uh, so just so you're aware, okay, I do see a slight change here in the position of the arm. That's okay. Um, I mean, when you're walking, okay, it is really difficult. Okay, you basically have to use a lot of practice to do what is um what's the correct term for it? I think it's like a rolling walk or a rolling march or something along those lines, where um your legs are moving in such a fashion where your body is kind of at the same height no matter what, you know. Um, you can kind of see it with like, marching bands as they're kind of marching down the street. You don't normally see them kind of bopping and weaving and stuff like that because that might affect um, their playing ability. Now, some bands do like the bopping and weaving, and that's perfectly fine. Obviously, they practiced on that. Um, but if you're not used to it, then it it makes it a little difficult. Um, so that's why you normally see like marching bands kind of being, straight. You see their feet moving, but they are, staying in the same kind of position, fairly rigid in like the upper body. So, um, while they're still kind of moving their legs along with it. So, um, so yeah. So this is fine. Not I'm not gonna have that big of a deal with that. Same with the arm there, but everything else is looking good, so we're good there. Okay, so now we're gonna do the pickaxe. Walking to the left. Same kind of movement with the arm, but like I said, that's okay. Okay, we're looking good there. Okay, now we got the hammer. Now, the reason why I'm looking back on this is because I think at some point in time I had some issues with positioning for the person kind of facing to the right a little bit. And I think um the images overall are not really lining up very well when it was facing to the right. I could be wrong on that though. Hold on a second there, folks. Sorry about that. Wanted to get a little snack in me. Yeah. So this is looking good too. So we're good there. Okay, we're done with the hammer. So let's go on to the golden pickaxe here. Again, no problems. All right, same. We're okay there, so we're good. Okay, so now we have the walk for the axe. Okay, we're looking good there. So walk to the right. Okay, it's looking good. Okay, now we're getting into the scared animations. And I think this is where I was seeing some issues. Okay, we're good there. You know, if I see some, animation anomalies, then I'll be going um, back into this a little bit to try to fix them. Now, obviously, I still need to kind of fix the position of the entire image here, so it doesn't, obviously, as you can kind of see, this one isn't exactly centered. Um, but I'm gonna wait on that until I actually load up the images into Unity and see how it looks, uh, with the hex tiles as they are. So yeah. So we're looking good on the water scared, both right and left. Okay, so now we're doing pickaxe scared. Okay, I'm not really seeing any issues with that set. So we're doing it to checking the right. Okay, I'm not really seeing any kind of issues on that one either. Like I said, if you guys can kind of notice something, then let me know. But so far it's looking pretty good overall. So far, anyway. Okay, so we got the scared for water and pickaxe done. So now we got the hammer to the left. Okay, looks like we're good there. Okay, to the right. Okay, I don't really see any like major issues or anything like that to that. So we're good there. Let's see. Scare the golden. Okay. Looking pretty good there. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Get some Skittles out. Or do I even have any Skittles? Nope, don't have any more Skittles left. Okay. And we'll just grab some Starburst. Oh, wait, what's... Hmm. Looks like this one is... feels like all air in there. It is all air in there. Well, except for... they kind of jipped me. There's only one out of the... you know, there's normally like two in there, but this one only gave me one. I'm gonna write up Starburst and go, you know, what? Hey, Starburst, you know, you owe, you owe me a single Starburst. Yeah, right. They're probably gonna like roll their eyes on that. Not only that, it's a yellow one. Not exactly my favorite, but whatever. Okay, left is done. So now we're doing it, checking the right, and we're looking good there. So, let's see. Hold on a second. Switching over to webcam here real quick. Wanted to bring out my notepad here. So we're pretty much done with the human images here. And now, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, I already just addressed the images being slightly off center. So, um, like it says right here, I may need to fix it. So okay, so all the scared animations are done. So now we're going to go ahead and we're going to check the idle. Okay, it's looking pretty good there. So nothing much that we need to worry about there. Just making sure everything is looking the way I kind of need it to look. If there's any kind of little graphical anomalies or whatnot, little problems with the animation, then I can always kind of go back to these files and modify them. But so far they're looking okay. So far. Okay, we're good there. Now facing to the right. Facing to the right looks good. Okay. I don't see any like additional anomalies or anything like that there, so okay, so that was the pickaxe idle. So now let's check out the hammer. Hammer's looking good on that. So don't need to worry too much about that. Hammer to the left, done. Now we're checking out the one to the right. Okay, that one's looking pretty good too, so we don't need to worry about that. Okay. Okay, I don't really see any major problems with this one, so we're good. Facing to the right. Okay, that one's looking pretty good. I don't really see any major glitches or anything along those lines for that animation, so we're good there. Okay, now we're going to do, I think the last one here. Okay, don't really see any major problems with that. So now we just have facing to the right. Okay, looking good. I don't really see any other problems with this or anything along those lines. Nothing that kind of stands out to me like, hey, you're having like a major problem or whatnot with this. So, okay. So now we're gonna be moving on to the monsters. I don't have anything else that I really need to do for the humans. Now, um, at least at least probably not. Okay, so um, so looking at the hunter, for example. Okay, we have their idle, they're walking, they're swinging, and they're running skid. Okay, that's all done. We don't need to worry about that at all. Okay. Um, you know, um, the whole no ammo probably isn't going to be that big of a deal. Um, and that I was thinking we can try to do like some initially some like projectile shots um from the hunters against the monsters themselves. But I'm thinking maybe I should just kind of switch that over to like a hit point kind of system. Um, it might save me a little bit of headache trying to handle um, monsters trying to angle themselves up, or the humans trying to angle themselves to the monsters to shoot them, or something like that. Um, so yeah. Um, the other thing that I'm probably gonna want to try to do, maybe, but I haven't actually gotten the art asset done for it, is um, the humans carrying resources back. I don't think I've gotten that done yet. Um, and um, I don't really know if I really want to have that kind of image in my set anyway. Okay. Um, the idea of the human kind of carrying a sack, back to base. I mean, um, that might, like for example, you know, compare it to like World of Warcraft, for example, where you have the humans kind of going to like the mines and to the trees, and once they're done harvesting what they need to harvest, you can kind of see them um with a backpack, with a sack for the gold, or the pile logs in their arms for the wood. Okay. I might need to create something like that for the humans, um, in order to um, kind of show that this particular human is completely full, can't take any more resources, so they're heading back to base. Just so the player understands that, hey, you don't need to, um, you don't necessarily need to send this particular AI agent back out into the field or anything like that. You don't need to force them to go to a resource when they're full. So I may want to do that, um, just so that they're aware that of those um, of that particular AI agent going, "Yep, I'm done. We're heading back home." So I may need to do that now that I'm thinking about it. Hmm. I may want to try to tackle that right now, though. Instead of switching to the monsters that I need to animate, I may need to try to figure out how I want to draw these. Now, if I had, um, if there was a full-time artist on the, you know, for this project, which there isn't, I would see if they can do a way to have individual animations for carrying back the specific different resources. Um, much like Warcraft, and you have the sack for the gold that they were carrying back, and the stack of wood in their arms for the lumber that they harvested. I would kind of like to see that for this game, but once again, we need to stick with the KISS method. Keep it simple. So, so I may just want to stick with a um, single image where they're just kind of carrying it back in a sack, which doesn't really make any sense considering one of the resources is water, but whatever. Okay. Um, I'm gonna be tripping out the player a little bit with that kind of image. I mean, as it is anyway, I'm already having um the human banging a pail up against the well at some point. So, I mean, why not have a sack carrying water? It's waterproof, it's fine. Okay. Um, so with that in mind, let's go back to our prototype here. Oh, there we go. Okay. So I need to design a something that the humans will kind of be carrying along with them. So, um, escape encountered an internal error and will close now. Yay! It's happened before there, folks. So give me a second while this shuts on down, and I'll bring it right back up again. Um, Now, I may need to change the arm as well on this because um, here, let me kind of show you what I mean here. Um, let's see, hold on. Need to open up Inkscape back up again. Okay. There we go. So let's let's look at, something that I've already kind of worked out here. Let's look at this image here, right? So we have a slight bend in their arm. Okay. So so when they're walking, they're just have their their equipment, their tools are down by their waist and so on and so forth, and they're just kind of walking along. Okay. Um, but when it comes to carrying a sack with them, okay, obviously I don't need to have like two hands grabbing it because obviously I'm not even showing their extra arm in these particular animations, and that's fine. I'm like I said, I'm not worried about making it too absurdly complex on these images. Okay, I'm trying to keep it very simple for me so that I can get them done and I can move on to continuing the construction of the game. Okay. Um, but I'm gonna want to. I don't know if I'm going to be able to kind of draw or be able to use the arm here um, to kind of mimic carrying a sack. So here, I'm gonna save this as another. Um, let's see. We're going to do human carry, and that's really all. We don't need to. We're not changing up the image of the carrying case or anything along those lines. Okay, we're just wanting to um we're not like putting like a resource image on the sacks themselves or anything along those lines. I could do that, um, but again, I'm trying to keep it fairly simple. So we're just gonna use a single case to handle all the different resources um, that we can collect. Okay. So, so let's say we do something like this. Okay, we're gonna go ahead and ungroup what we have here. Okay, let's go ahead and well, let's see. Let's- okay, go ahead and group that together. So now we're going to go ahead and copy this and paste it. So now we can kind of modify the angle here. So like for example, I want the sack to kind of go over their shoulder, right? So in order for this arm to kind of work with that, I would basically have to rip their shoulder out and move it down to their waist in order to kind of show the sack kind of over their shoulder, using the same kind of um, if I wanted to kind of use their arm the way I have it here, okay, I'm basically saying, hey, shoulder, you're going down to the waist. So, probably not that great. Um, I mean, I could do that. It might add a little bit of silliness or whatnot. It's like, um, the player playing the game might go, "What the heck happened to their, what the heck happened to their body?" Having this arm suddenly go, from harvesting going, kind of thing. Taking the sack back. Um, I mean, I could probably do that. I could probably add that little bit of silliness to it. Um, or the other alternative. is that I have to modify the arm more. Okay, um, so in this case, we're going to go ahead and ungroup again. Um, so the arm is still in its own individual group here. I'm going to keep the axe the same in this case. So what we're going to do is um, we're going to ungroup that again. Okay, so now we have the upper arm. Okay, we have the forearm, and then we have the hand. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to group those two together. Okay, we're going to go and kind of keep it behind the the bicep. So, and I'm going to go ahead and select the axe along with it, group those together. So now we're going to go ahead and angle it. Oh, so, okay, so now, let's see. So now we have a similar to what we kind of need for holding the sack. But at the same time, that looks really painful in terms of what is going on with their elbow. See, that right there isn't looking that great. So, um, so let's see. Okay. Okay. So I use that, and we have a little bit of an easier time with kind of drawing the sack over the shoulder kind of thing. So now we don't have to completely, you know, destroy the person's arm from their body. You know, we're not ripping their shoulder out and placing it down at their waist or anything like that. Okay, so now we've adjusted the arm using, you know, what we already made, and we're trying to simulate the carrying of, you know, um, of a sack over their shoulder, you know, a la Santa Claus. um, so now that I have that, um, see, we're going to go ahead and kind of group this up for now. And we're going to go ahead and copy it over to our, um, we're going to take it over to our prototype file here so that we can kind of use it over here. So we're going to kind of do it, put it like right there. And that will give me a little bit of a reference point as to the how to kind of draw um, draw the sack over their shoulder kind of thing. So um, now let's see. Um, this is where things get a little interesting because now I have to figure out how I want to try to go about drawing it. Um, Now I haven't drawn anything, like a Santa Claus sack kind of style to it. Um, so I don't know exactly where to kind of start with it per se. In that, I don't want to do too much hand draw. I don't want to like try to draw it or anything along those lines because um, my hands aren't exactly precise when it comes to that detailed of a drawing. Like if if I was to, take this pencil tool, for example, and just kind of draw, you know, some kind of sack or whatnot, then it's not gonna look all that great. So, so I need to figure out some other method of trying to go about doing that. So, um, hmm, okay. Hmm. I may need to try to do some hand drawing anyway, but let me see if I can maybe mess around with this a little bit. Hmm. Trying to draw something that looks some kind of looks like some kind of sack at the very least. Now, obviously, we're gonna try to keep it behind their back a little bit, and we want some amount of curve to it. I may need to do like maybe a couple ellipses to try to simulate a curvature maybe. Hmm. So here, you know what? Hold on. If we're gonna be modifying it into a sack anyway, we're gonna wanna kind of put it behind the back anyway so that I can get the curve to be the way I want it to be. So, um, now I'm gonna need to be, gotta be careful with this a little bit because, um, you know, it's, I need to kind of simulate, um, the sack kind of going over the shoulder here. Okay. I need to be able to kind of show, hey, you have this part behind the back, but also the part that's in front of the shoulder as well. So, when someone's kind of, carrying it along, okay, I need to make sure that I have um, it layered in such a fashion where you can see the portion in front of the shoulder and the portion behind the shoulder. So I'm gonna need to kind of draw this sack into like two different parts. One that's gonna be kind of like the I guess you might call it like a elephant trunk or something like that for the front part, like in front of the shoulder, and then the larger end for the main sack behind the shoulder. So it's going to be interesting to try to draw that. Um, so, um, so if I was to go with something like, um, no, well, that's not really working out very much, no, is it? I want to just kind of create a line there. Let's see. No, that's not exactly how I want it to be. Oh, geez. No, that's not what I want at all. Get rid of that. Okay. Um, just need a slight curve there, so um, there we go. So now we're going to take that. Okay, um, those are corner ones, so oh, no, oh, hold on. I actually want to keep that for now. We're going to go ahead and add, let's see, I'm going to add a node in the middle of it, or at least attempt to. Try and select it. No, I want. Um, let's see. Convert. There we go. Put a point right in the center there. Oh, my music is off. Continue. Yes, please. Okay. Um, Now let's see. We want to grab that one. We're going to make it into a curved. So we just want to kind of create the illusion of like a slight lip to the bag. So So that's good there. Let's see. Now I want to kind of create the sense of a back here. Okay, now we're going to go ahead and select that. We're going to take those points there, and we're going to add another point in the middle of it. Is we want to try to add a little bit of depth to it. So I don't want any kind of sharp edges on this either, so I'm gonna add a node in the middle there. Okay. Okay, let's see. Let's see, I should probably create another kind of, another line segment between these 2 points here. And kind of curve it up a little bit so that we have a little bit of like an opening, you know. So when when the person's kind of carrying it, you have a slight opening that you can kind of darken a little bit so that you can kind of simulate that, you're still um, you have that kind of opening to it, obviously. So I could have probably done it a little bit easier with like an ellipse, but this works. Um, Now, let's see. Now, the problem with this now is trying to figure out where I have to have that kind of transition from where it is in front, on the front layer to the back layer, um, and still kind of make it somewhat believable. Um, Obviously, I don't want to have like a line or something like that, splitting those two halves apart, kind of showing that, um, there's a kind of like a disconnect between those two different layer values. Um, but I still need to have something put in place so that I can make sure that um, the image itself will have the right kind of color to it. Like for example, like I have this kind of a tannish color here, which is okay for a sack. Um, I may need to change it, but um, so here let me kind of change the shifted perspective here a little bit. So let's say let me kind of create a um, kind of a set of look to this here. So we're gonna kind of take, let's see, where's okay? Here, let me move this a little bit so that I can kind of tell where the endpoint is on this. So now I can take this. Oh, oh, I can take this part right here, and we can kind of move it down here a little bit. So like, I'm gonna kind of draw it like so a little bit, which um, this isn't really working out that well right at the moment. Hmm, can I actually let me see if I can kind of group these two together here. So um, let's see. There we go. Okay, so now both of those are joined up together. We can go ahead and see. Change that, change that. Okay, let's go ahead and kind of remove that altogether. Oh, that's not great. Let's change that into this. There we go. And now, whoops. Okay, don't do that. Okay. Nope. And it's not a curve that I want either. Okay. So now we have kind of like an idea as to what we kind of want to see um, for the most part on all of this. Problem is that now we have to determine where does the front part of this, um, what is contained in front of the shoulder versus what is contained behind the shoulder, you know, because um, when you're talking like the walking animation or the idle animation or something along those lines, we're going to need to be able to kind of shift these perspectives a little bit each and every single time. Um, so eventually there needs to kind of be like a little cutoff here. Okay, and already I'm kind of looking at this and like going, this isn't exactly that great because while I'm trying to get it connected to the back portion um, of the sack, um, I don't necessarily want it kind of riding along the person's shoulder. I do want to have that kind of perspective that it is going to dip below the shoulder at some point in time. So I may do something like, hey, just kind of do that quite like that extreme, but you know, like something like so. So it kind of shows that it's kind of behind the shoulder a little bit, you know. So let's see. Oh yeah. So we have this kind of look to it. So now I need to kind of draw like another line here that I'm gonna eventually need to kind of remove. Um, because what I'm gonna do now is I need to take, oh, and to kind of take um, these two particular sections here, the one on the left hand side here, and the one on the right hand side over there, and kind of change them up a little bit. Um, so see, this doesn't really work out all that well because um, I need to kind of separate out this particular path, um, so that I can kind of so that I can separate the two portions. So, um, so just go ahead and add a, come on, add a segment there. What the, really? Okay. Oop. Let's go ahead and fix this a little bit. Change that into something like this. Right. Change that. Change that. Okay. 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 This might take a little bit of work to do, and I might need to. I mean, I'm coming to a close of my um on my stream here, folks. So So I might need to kind of save the rest of the creation of this for next week. So um, yeah, let's go ahead and do that for now. Okay, so next week we're gonna finish off trying to design this sack, try to get it so that we can get the um, viewpoint correct, and then we're going to start kind of drawing out the animations for it completely. So look forward to that. Um, Now all these videos that I do, all these um, um, what you're currently seeing here will be eventually uploaded to my YouTube channel. So feel free to check that out. I have multiple different playlists and multiple different um, um, multiple different playlists, multiple different um, uh, games, and my coding streams all kind of uploaded there. So feel free to check that out. I also have links to my Discord, my Patreon, and my Twitter account down below on my Twitch channel, as well as in the description of my YouTube videos. So feel free to check those out if you'd like. Um, I have a schedule of everything that I do on this channel down below on my Twitch channel. So if any of that interests you, stop on by one of those days and say hi if you want, or don't. It's perfectly fine if you just want to lurk. Um, Also, um, if you're not already aware, I stream daily from 2 to 6 p.m. PST. So whenever you feel like joining me, just stop on by during those times, whatever day you want to join me, and you'll be seeing me play a game or do these coding streams on Sundays. So hopefully you'll join me again next week as I continue building my game GGG. Till then. I'm going to have to say good night. Take care. Stay healthy and stay safe. And I'll catch you strangers next time.